Hello, hello, hello. So tonight I thought I would paint something loose, something maybe fast. I painted this earlier on some very thin paper that I actually really love. Holds up great to water. You can paint on both sides. Now, same maker, but this version is 300 GSM, so it's a lot thicker. And so I thought I'd paint on here and share with you how it goes. This is new to me paper. I've never used this 300 GSM before, and I thought I'd paint something. So let's go. Let's go for it. Let's grab some maybe handmade paints. I'm gonna go with these. I'm going to also maybe open up my Rockwell here and play with these options and see what we come up with. I've got two brushes. I've got my Polina Bright and I've got my Tintoretto. They do look actually kind of the same size. This size 0 and this is a size 3.0. And so let's go for it. Let's go ahead and test this paper with water. This isn't a paper I would typically use water on, but I'm gonna give it a try and I'm gonna loosely brush it. It did beat up, did you see that? I bet it beat it up. Let's just see how that goes, just lightly, so that we'll have some crisp edges in there. Let's use some whatever's in this palette here, leftover paint. It's kind of an opaque yellow orange, if I remember correctly. Let's grab some of this leftover, and we're just going to use what we have here. Bring it in. Maybe I'll grab a little bit of a Rockwell red and maybe a little bit of pink, mix those two together, and just let the water and the pigments kind of do their thing. I'll move them around a bit, but I'm not really trying to do anything in particular. I'm just kind of letting things happen and maybe adding some, more pigmented color in certain places, just because I have no idea where this is going. I don't have anything pre-planned in my mind. I am gonna stand up occasionally. You'll hear me stand up and look to see what I'm doing. I stand up and look through the camera. I find that really helps get a perspective that you're not able to see looking, straight and raised right close up to it. So straight on is better. All right, we've got this little bit of, let's go ahead and drop some, let's take this little blue over here. Okay, so when you do that and you're like, oh no, that was a mistake, I don't like it. So blot most of it out if you can, if you want to. This is what you can do. You kind of blot it out and then just make it work for you, right? So it was a lot. So I'm gonna take that same color and I'll do what I did to that side, to the other side. And maybe I'll drop some randomly in the middle. And it's okay if it doesn't work. If you don't do it next time, if you don't love it this time, right? But I want my sky to be a little moodier. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna roll with it. Do I love it? Maybe not, but that's okay. It's just paper. It's just paper. I'll wet my brush. I'm gonna dry it off a little bit. I always keep like this is a used, not a used, but an unused coffee filter, half a coffee filter. So these get ruffled up in my pantry and I'll often use these, but I also I always have a cloth next to me too that I wipe on, and you'll see me use that all the time. So I just wanna make sure I'm blending some of these out. And what you can use to blend, you can use a fan brush, dry, and just take it and just move the stuff around a little bit, the paint and the colors, if you like. You don't have to do any of that. You can blend this pink in a little more. You can also just leave it as is and call it good. Okay, let's move down to the foreground. I'm gonna use what I already have on my palette here, just some greens. And we're just going to take more green. I just rearranged my palette, so once I rearrange, I immediately make a little map of my colors so that I know what's what, and so I can grab onto what's what. And often I find that making these little palette maps inspires me to do new combinations. So let's let this amazing olive green just kind of do its thing. And then I think we're gonna grab maybe a little bit of Blue Enchantress. So it's mixing with the green that I already have on my brush. So it's creating a blue-green. which I like because I like to bring darker colors into the foreground, which is just what I wanted. And then I'll grab maybe, how about some lapis brown? And again, I'm not rinsing my brush. I'm just kind of, and I'm gonna grab some, a little bit of, I think a little bit of yellow, just to brighten that up a little bit. And I'm just gonna sweep in some spots over here, maybe across there and across there, just to bring in some light. All right, that's about it down there. Rinse my brush. I think I'll grab my Tintoretto. It's been kind of working as my liner lately, often. And so I'm gonna use this to maybe accent, accentuate, suggest more trees. See how this line is already, the paint's already moved up. So I'm just gonna go in here and help it along and suggest some more trees. Not too much. I don't want to go overboard here. This area might be a little more dry, so we'll go to a crisp tree. And then down here, I like to add some darks right against that yellow there. And these are suggestions. You don't need to go back and create exactly what I created. The idea is for that you to, I don't know, just gain some maybe ways that you don't normally do something and maybe try it that way, or maybe take a few things that I've tried, use them for yourself. Or maybe you see nothing you like and you're like, nope, don't want to do anything like that. But that's awesome too, because then you learned you don't care for that, right? You don't like it. And that's just perfectly fine too. By all means, you don't need to like everything that somebody does, right? It doesn't have to be for you. And it's not always going to be, and that is okay. Perfectly okay. All right, let's grab, I think I want to grab, let's go back with that pink I had in the beginning, and I'm just gonna splatter a little bit in my foreground. Whoops, that was a little more than a little bit. This is Barbie pink. All right, so we're going with the Barbie pink. Actually, you know what? Actually, I was sad that I did it, and now I'm not at all. I'm actually quite happy. It's clean as we go. If only my kids would learn that. Clean as you go. They're not there yet. I also keep on hand a dry erase. And so if I see a stain, I'll just pick it up right away so that it doesn't sit there too long. All right. Not a dry erase. Not a dry erase. What is it called? Magic erasers. That's all I'm going to do today. Just a very quick one, under 10 minutes. I just wanted to show you, you can do different things with the time you have. Let's add in some of these paints so you can see what I use. I use my handmade Mashas, my handmade cozies, and some Rockwell paints. And that was it. And under 7 minutes, we have kind of a loose and fun piece. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, right? You can just let the paints do what they do naturally. Everything will dry a little bit lighter. Just a little bit lighter. Not drastically, just a touch. All right, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.